And here's your host, Steve Shedler.
Hey. Welcome in on a Monday morning, February 12th. It is time for the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. It's brought to us by my buddy Eddie at Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. Let's bring that up right now as Home Plate Sports Cards bringing us the morning wake up. You can find them at 1516 A Avenue East, Oskaloosa. Call 641-676-1516, the number to call. Again, 1516 A Avenue East, Oskaloosa, 676-1516, the phone number to call. Their hours are Monday through Tuesday. They are closed on those days. Wednesday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Saturdays, noon to 6, and Sundays, noon to 4. There's no place like Home Plate Sports Cards bringing us our morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. Thank Home Plate Sports Cards. Let's take a look at our forecast as we kick off this week. We're heading towards Valentine's Day, and you can get what you need at the Garden Gate in Sigourney at 105 South Jefferson in Sigourney, 641-622-3191. Get a hold of Cindy. They want your orders. Get your orders in early and often at the Garden Gate for Valentine's Day. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to noon. You know, Cindy was posting some pictures on Facebook last night. I jokingly said I would take one of everything. Cindy, if you're watching, I didn't really mean that. I don't need one of everything. But I do need, a little something for Valentine's Day coming up on Wednesday. They've got new spring merchandise coming in. They have everything you need for Valentine's Day at the Garden Gate. And for this week, boy, I tell you what, if you jump ahead to Valentine's Day, Wednesday, looks nice. In fact, this week looks pretty nice. Sunshine today, a high of 48. Clear skies tonight, low of 27. Sunshine again tomorrow, a high of 46. Clear skies Tuesday night, a low of 27. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 54. Right now, let's see our current conditions here in southeast Iowa. We do have 20 degrees, kind of a cool start to our day here in southeast Iowa. Humidity at 96%. Wind speeds, really not a whole lot of wind to speak of. And the old barometer, also known as the barometer, at 29.96. If Neil is watching, Neil Crott, if he is watching this morning, I know he always wonders about the barometer. So there you go, 29.96. 20 degrees currently here in southeast Iowa. Your weather brought to us by the Garden Gate in Sigourney. Hey, of course, last night, we are coming off of the Super Bowl last night. Hopefully you got to tune in and watch. I'm sure like trillions and gazillions of people did last night. Our question of the day, presented to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa, deals with the Super Bowl. And my question for you today is, are big game ads as memorable as they used to be? What do you think? I saw several people on Facebook, and they're around my age-ish. So maybe we grew up with some pretty memorable Super Bowl ads over the years. But are the big game ads as memorable as they used to be? Well, I mean, was there anything last night that in like even next year or 10 years down the road or 20 years down the road that you're going to be like, yeah, I love that ad from 2024? I don't know. I can't think of anything last night that was that memorable. Like the Bud Light frogs or, several Bud Light ads over the years, especially Clydesdale ads. I tell you what, my favorite Super Bowl ad, the most memorable Super Bowl ad of all time for me was the Super Bowl after 9/11, where the Clydesdales were outside of New York City and they bowed down. Man, that one, I could get choked up right now just talking about it and thinking about it. That was powerful stuff. Those don't come around very often, but still, that's the question for today. Excuse me. Are big game ads as memorable as they used to be? So you can comment on that when the question goes up on my Facebook page right around noon today. Brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa, which today, they are celebrating their 18th anniversary today. Way to go, Amy. I remember when Amy kicked off Amy's Salon House and Spa here in Sigourney at 202 North Main. So congratulations to you, Amy. Celebrate 18 years today. You can call 641-622-3772, call or text for an appointment, or just call or text and say congratulations on 18 years. Hair and spa services, extensions, products, and tanning. Let's see here. I know they've also got some other stuff going on to celebrate. She'll be open, 8 to 8 today. And to celebrate 18 years of being in business, they have 18% off all products. If you buy any tanning package, you can purchase a bonus 100 credits for just $18. That's saving over 50%. And those specials will be running through the end of the month. So take advantage of that. 18% off all products. Again, 100 bonus credits for tanning, just $18. So 18 is the key there for Amy's Salon House and Spa. Congratulations to Amy's Salon House and Spa for hitting 18 years today. And again, those specials will be running through this month. Hey, coming up tonight here on Steve Shetler Media, we have Keota Eagles basketball. In fact, two of our area teams. We're covering the Keota Eagles boys through the postseason. And it's been a pleasure. We did a bunch of the games during the regular season. Now we're into postseason play. It's March Madness without it being March quite yet for the Keota boys. We're going to kick that off tonight as English Valleys won the play-in game. Let's bring that graphic up. So over on the left there, English Valleys defeated Meskwaki Settlement the other night. So now Keota will be taking on English Valleys tonight at 7 p.m. here on Steve Shetler Media. So tune in. It's one game. We've been doing girls, boys, doubleheaders all season long. Now we're just focusing on the boys. So it's Keota against English Valleys. Postseason plays, Sub-State 6 District 11. Keota against English Valleys tonight at 7 p.m. And then if Keota were to win, I believe their next game comes up on Thursday. Don't quote me on that, but I think that is the scenario for basketball. So tune in tonight. We'll see how Keota boys do against English Valleys. All righty. Also coming up this week here on Steve Shetler Media, Jake Simon, that young guy, going to be at Barnwired in Sigourney this Friday from 11:30 to noon. Jake, he's been doing his thing here on the Iowa music scene the last several years. I discovered him when I was on the radio here. It's been at least 5 years ago, I would say. Jake's got some great tunes, great original tunes, and he'll be performing some of those songs coming up on Friday at Barnwired in Sigourney. Again, from 11 to noon, live interview, live tunes from Jake Simon right here on Steve Shetler Media. Also coming up this weekend, it seems far away, but it'll get here before we know it. The Sports Section Coaches Show, we'll have that live from Brothers Market Saturday morning at 8 a.m., Make sure you tune in then. Coming up here shortly on Steve Shetler Media, Once I wrap things up here with the morning wake up, I'll get our Athlete of the Week poll up and running. I have not had time to get to that yet this morning, so I am running just a hair behind on things, but I will. You guys gave me a lot of great nominees last night when I posted that question on Facebook, so we'll get to some of those. Athlete of the Week, the poll goes up later on today here on Steve Shetler Media. One thing that went up last night on my Facebook page was our weekly top 20 for the most engaged followers on Steve Shetler Media for the past week. That's for the Facebook side of things. As you can see there, I referred to him as my number one stalker, my number one fan, 3 weeks in a row. I think Alan Sellers is outside of my house in the bushes, just watching and waiting for me to post something on my Facebook page. He is ready to go whenever I post anything. He's liking, he's sharing, he's commenting. That's what it takes. Man, you want to be dedicated. You want to be number one. You got to be like Alan. Alan and Bruce, again, Bruce Hahn is right behind Alan. Now, it appeared early last week that Alan was going to lay off, and it looked like Bruce was going to cruise into that number one spot. But no. Alan came storming back later in the week. His competitive side, his competitive nature just couldn't be held back. And Alan remains at number one for 3 straight weeks. So congratulations to Alan Sellers. I'm congratulating him like it's a big accomplishment. Way to go, Alan. You're my number one fan. We've got Alan and Bruce, and they are the co-hosts of the Sports Section show on Saturday mornings. So I think it's funny that they are 1 and 2. So Alan and Bruce, you are 1 and 2. Got Kathy Rosaboom at number 3. My wife, Stacy, coming in at the 4th spot. We all know in our hearts that Stacy is my number 1 fan. But on this particular list, she's number 4. Sherry coming in at number 5. I'm sure we'll be seeing Sherry at the Kyoto game tonight. Rick Landgrebe up at Brothers Market, number 6. David Schwab, Lacey Render, VJ Burnham, Dave Peterson, rounding out your top 10. Then we got over on the other side from 11 to 20, Nancy, Doty, Shane, Hot Neil Crott, Curtis Vanderwall, Christine, Melissa, Justin, Nicholas, Aaron. So a great top 20 there. Thanks to everybody for sharing, commenting, liking throughout the week, and making it up on that list. Hey, again, welcome into the morning wake up. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think my voice and my lips, I love my lips. I think my mouth is not matching up. There we are. It's off again. I apologize. If my mouth and my lips are like a bad movie, that they aren't syncing up again. I did. You guys will be happy to know. Made a little trip to the old Best Buy yesterday, and before I even asked or brought it up, the guy at Best Buy was like, yeah, if you're having some syncing issues like with your voice and your mouth, I was like, yes, that's a problem. And so, yeah, this is a computer issue. I will be upgrading, so we might have to put up with this for a few more days, but yeah. So my apologies. If my mouth and the sound of my voice aren't matching up, I'll just go like this the rest of the morning. That way you'll never know. Maybe just listen if it bothers you. Good morning to you, Tamara, Bruce, Dan, Tracy. I'm sure we'll see you this evening, Tracy, at the game. Sandy, Kurt, and Kathy, Aaron. Let's see here. Jackie, Amy. Happy anniversary to you, Amy Walrick, in the comments with Amy's Salon House and Spa. Nancy, Darcy, Alan. Alan Sellers, if you showed up with my face on a t-shirt, that would be, I don't know, that would be either really creepy or it'd be the funniest thing ever. So, yeah. Oh, man, Sherry, you got to go to a school board meeting? They need to cancel that thing, man. Kyoto basketball, that is the priority. So good morning. We're doing the morning wake up, brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards. Let's go ahead and do some birthdays. I got a different drink this morning. Diet Dr. Pepper. Happy birthday to you, Bubby. Hey, Bubby's in the comments. Bubby, if you make a three-pointer tonight, you got to look up at me in the stands and blow me a kiss or something. All right? Is that a deal? Good morning to you, Vicky. Thank you for tuning in. Let's do some birthdays. Let's see here. Country singer and guitarist Mo Bandy is 80 years old today. Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers turning 72. We've got Arsenio Hall, great show host from over the years, TV host and actor Arsenio Hall, 68. By the way, that guy has had enough plastic surgery where he actually looks younger than he did back in his prime. Arsenio Hall, 68 years old. He could pass as being like in his 30s, I would think. Actor Josh Brolin turning 56. Singer Chynna Phillips turns 56 years old from Wilson Phillips. Let's see here. We've got actress, how do you say that? How do you say her last name? Christina, is it Richie or Ricky? Christina. I'm going to say Richie, because that's what I feel comfortable with. From movies like The Addams Family, Casper, That Darn Cat. 44 years old for Christina. Football player DeMarco Murray, played for the Cowboys, Eagles, Titans, 36 years old. And RG3, Robert Griffin III, former football player, turns 34 years old. Boy, he had a nasty knee injury, if I remember that correctly. Let's see here. On this date in history, this is the birthday of Abraham Lincoln today. Back in 1809, Honest Abe was born. On this date in 1872, the toothpick making machine was patented. The thing is patented by a guy that had just got done eating corn on the cob and was like trying to get the corn out of his teeth. 1872, toothpick making machine was patented. Let's see here. Today is, of course, we're coming off the Super Bowl, so today is National Football Hangover Day. We are all kind of hungover from football. So, yeah, if you're in the comments this morning, by the way, good morning to you, Melissa. You want to talk about the Super Bowl, go right ahead. I mean, Reba, what do you think? Reba singing the national anthem. I would say, Reba, it was solid. It was good. And, it wasn't anything like the best thing ever. But Reba did a nice, solid job of the national anthem. She sang it the way it should be sung. She just did it. And there wasn't anything stupid about it. It wasn't anything, really memorable about it. But I think she did a great job. So good job to Reba. Let's see her halftime show. I actually came up here to the studio during halftime last night and got some work in because I didn't care about Usher. I hear he's on roller skates. Did you guys like the halftime show with Usher? I heard there was some of course, extra performances by other people joining in. Ludacris, my boy Ludacris. So there you go. Halftime show. I don't know. Post Malone. Did he perform? If he did, I missed it. We got home kind of late. Like I said, I was talking to the kid at Best Buy about computers, and we got home just as Super Bowl coverage was really getting going. So I missed the Post Malone thing. And by the way, I was wrong. I want to fully admit that I was wrong about guessing that Travis Kelce would propose to Taylor Swift after the Chiefs won. That didn't happen, but they did share a nice hug and several kisses and whispers in the ear. And Travis and Taylor making out on TV last night. What other day is it today? Oh, by the way, the Chiefs won the game in overtime. What do you guys think of the game? I thought it was kind of boring. Lots of field. I mean, if you're a fan of field goals, there were several long field goals. What's it? The one guy broke the record for the longest field goal, then the other kicker got the longest field goal. So, lots of field goals. The Chiefs ended up winning in overtime. So they are of course, a dynasty. So it's National Football Hangover Day. Let's see here. It's National Plum Pudding Day. That sounds gross. And National Clean Out Your Computer Day. I need to clean out my computer so it acts right. Things you need to know. If you want to see Brittany Mahomes in a swimsuit, Patrick's wife, Brittany Mahomes evidently will be gracing the pages of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit's 60th anniversary issue. It's featured as a 2024 rookie. Brittany Mahomes. I don't know if they're going to have any guys this year in swimsuits or not. That didn't work out too well last year. Let's see here. Also, there were Jennifer Aniston, David Schwimmer. Is that his name? Schwimmer? From Friends. If you go to Google and you Google Friends Ross, and then you click on the couch, evidently something happens. I don't know what that is. So if you want to break away from the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media, go to Google, put in Friends Ross, and then click on the couch. See what happens. And then you can come back and report to the rest of us. Other things you need to know. Jada Pinkett. Is she just Jada Pinkett now? She officially took off the Smith. Jada scaring off a couple of intruders who were trying to break into her home. Of course, she's home alone now. Her and Will have split, so he's no longer there. But Jada don't need no man. Jada Pinkett, formerly Smith, fighting off the intruders. Here's somebody who could fight off anybody, anywhere, anytime. Actor Gina Carano on Tuesday of last week sued Lucasfilm and its parent company, the Walt Disney Company, over her 2021 firing from The Mandalorian after they didn't agree with some social media stuff that she posted. Boy, I hear you there, Gina. Let's see here. Hours after flying home from visiting his dad, King Charles, Prince Harry went to Las Vegas, Riva, and was the presenter for the NFL's Walter Payton Award on Thursday night. Pittsburgh Steelers defensive end Cameron Hayward, who got the award, was quoted as saying, "Prince freaking Harry. I'm in shock. That's Prince Harry, yo." So congratulations to Cameron Hayward. But speaking of singing Viva Las Vegas, did you watch the postgame where Travis Kelce was singing Viva Las Vegas on stage? That was pretty classic. Let's see here. Piers Morgan going to be giving up his show in Britain television to move over to the YouTube, the tube of the U, so that he can go full digital globally. So look for Piers Morgan on YouTube. Nintendo selling a new Super Mario game this past fall. It evidently sold nearly 11 million units of the latest Super Mario game around the world. So big money still to be made on Super Mario. Good morning to you, Jan. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Let's see here. Have you seen the story making the rounds on social media of the three older guys that have gone to the Super Bowls for like ever? Well, they did it again this year. Don Chrisman of Maine, Gregory Eaton of Michigan, and Tom Henschel, who splits time between Florida and Pennsylvania. They're all in their 80s. Were in Las Vegas yesterday for the Super Bowl. They have never missed a Super Bowl game since the first one back in 1967. Now they're saying they're hoping to be there 2 years from now for the 60th Super Bowl. So let's hope they all make it for that. Other stuff you need to know. Let's see here. Pink had her concert in Sydney, Australia the other night, mate. It had to shut it down briefly so that the medics could attend to a woman in what they're calling the mosh pit. Was there really a mosh pit at a Pink concert? A mosh pit? I don't know. I don't know about that, but evidently they had to get in there and help a woman out that had gone into labor. She was given birth at a Pink concert. So interesting stuff there. A Gallup poll survey says that adults who are married report being far more happier than those in any other relationship status. So if you want to be married, evidently, or if you want to be happy, getting married is a part of that for adults. Let's see here. And we're talking about Super Bowl commercials earlier. That'll be our question of the day. Again, that'll go up later on today. Our big game ads, as memorable as they used to be. How much do celebrities get paid to appear in Super Bowl ads? Of course, it varies depending on your status in Hollywood, but anywhere evidently from $25,000 to $10 million is what celebrities get paid to be in Super Bowl ads. $25,000 up to $10 million. I'll tell you what commercial was loaded last night with celebrities was the Dunkin' ads with who'd they have? Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Tom Brady was in there. That was a funny ad too. That might have been my favorite one from last night. Let's see here. And also, what do we want to talk about? They had their first ever recorded tornado in February in Wisconsin last week. So, and then did you see the trailer for Twisters? Twisters. They follow up to Twister from several years ago. Twister is going to be out in theaters. But yeah, the first ever Twister in February in Wisconsin last week. Also, just something to keep in mind. Coming up in April, we've got a total eclipse. A total eclipse of the sun. We've got a total eclipse coming up on April 8th. It'll last up to 4.5 minutes for those in the path of total darkness. Twice as long as the total solar eclipse that dimmed U.S. skies back in 2017. So a total eclipse coming up on April 8th. Mark your calendars for that. You know what time it is? It's time for Today's Impossible Question. Today's impossible question. 45% of people say you should wait till 25 to get one of these. What do you think? Maybe a tattoo, a piercing, a disease. Again, 45% of people say you should wait till 25 to get one of these. What is it? It is a credit card. I say don't ever get a credit card. But nearly half of people say you should be at least 25 before you get one of those credit cards. By the way, good morning to you, Barb. What is a mosh pit? A mosh pit is like if you're at a concert, and usually it's like a rock concert or a really heavy metal concert, where up close to the stage, you have like, it gets kind of scary up close to the stage at a rock concert sometimes, and the people start pushing each other and kind of dancing around and wailing away and pushing and shoving. It gets kind of aggressive in a mosh pit generally. That's the thought. So that's where that woman was going into labor at a Pink that's the thing. I can't really imagine much of a mosh pit, at least the way I think of a mosh pit, happening at a Pink concert. But yeah, that's what a mosh pit is. Good morning to you, Dodie. The old ladies and the Doritos. I'm trying to think which one that was. I'll have to go back and look at that. Let's see. We've got Valentine's Day coming up. How about breaking up before Valentine's Day? Tradition will either have one celebrating love, doing the normal Valentine's Day stuff, or people might break up. A lot of people break up on the week leading up to Valentine's Day. And of course, we've heard several marketing ideas. I've been talking about those the last few weeks. One of those marketing for breaking up and for love not being a good thing is the Chinese fast food chain P.F. Chang, as they invite anyone who has recently been dumped to text their story and the word Chang's Dumplings to a phone number that I could tell you, but you would never remember it, for a free order of 6 shrimp or pork Gyoza-style dumplings with a purchase of $1 or more. So take advantage of that from P.F. Chang. Pizza Hut. Last week, they celebrated what they call Red Tuesday, which is the day that's a week before Valentine's Day and when the most breakups occur. Pizza Hut celebrated that by doing their goodbye pies up until Valentine's Day. You can get those in some bigger cities. And then also, out of New York, currently expanding across the country, a dessert chain called Insomnia Cookies also launched a seasonal It's Not Me, It's You pack. A box of its 12 classic cookies with breakup notes included, like things that say, "You're sweet, but not to my taste." Or, "It's not me, it's you." or, "I have the hots for your roommate." That could also be a note that is included in Insomnia Cookies. I have not heard of that, but evidently that's a thing. And according to the latest national estimates from the Retail Federation, they say both coupled up and single people will spend an average of about $186 for Valentine's Day this year. So there you go, something to think about. Let's do some weird.
That is weird.
In some weird, let's see here. Let's go to kangaroos. Boing, boing, boing. Kangaroos. A wayward kangaroo was corralled safely by sheriff's deputies Thursday after it was spotted hopping around the pool area of a Florida apartment complex. The sheriff's office released video and still photos of the kangaroo, including some footage from a helicopter. So an on-the-loose kangaroo in Florida got captured. Let's go to the gram. Meta removed Instagram accounts belonging to Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei on Thursday, following months of pressure from pro-Israel groups. Khamenei's Persian language account had more than 5.1 million followers, while his English language account had more than 204,000. So Meta taking down those accounts from Iran's supreme leader. Let's go to the air. We all know what it's like to have our baggage weighed in at the airport check-in, but most of us familiar, with weighing in your stuff, maybe being a little bit overweight. But let's see here. Now, some brave airline passengers are consenting to being weighed themselves, like you yourself getting weighed. Let's see here. Before getting on the plane, in a project by European carrier Finnair at its Helsinki airport, volunteer passengers are being weighed at the departure gate in order to allow the airline to refine weight estimates for planes before takeoff. Would you allow that? Would you allow yourself to be weighed before you got on an airplane? I mean, obviously you have to get your luggage weighed. But how would you feel about that? They'd be like, "No, you weigh too much. You can't get on the airplane." That'd be a little something. That'd be weird. And some other stuff. Let's go to some cockroaches. Oh, this is another Valentine's Day for people that have been broken up with, evidently. Excuse me. The San Antonio Zoo is offering a special Valentine's Day greeting for exes who just won't bug off. For $10, the zoo will name a cockroach after your not-so-special someone and feed it to an animal. It's a cold but direct message that you're no longer interested. So if you want to do that, that's at a zoo. Let's go to the Guinness Book of World Records. A Frenchman's Guinness World Records dreams were reignited. Now, last week we read a little bit about this story that a guy had used the wrong matchsticks and he was not going to be included in his project for the Guinness Book of World Records. But evidently, they have reversed that decision and have awarded him the title for world's tallest matchstick sculpture. His name is Richard Plaud, and he spent 8 years building a 23.6-foot model of the Eiffel Tower from nearly 707,000 matchsticks. Now, the record-keeping organization initially told him he was disqualified from the world record because he used matchsticks that weren't commercially available, but they have since reversed that decision. Finally, let's go to news from your mom's basement. A dedicated gamer from Hungary, the country Hungary, played the game World of Warcraft for a consecutive 59 hours and 20 minutes, breaking 2 Guinness World Records in the process. I can't even come close to saying his name. His first name was Barnabas Vujidi Zolnay, a professional chef from Budapest, bested the previous record for the longest video game marathon, playing a multiplayer online game by 23 hours and 23 minutes. Again, he played this game for 59 hours and 20 minutes. Let's say he was allowed 5-minute breaks each hour to eat, nap, or use the bathroom. So, yeah. And he was wiping Cheetos dust from his t-shirt from his mom's basement. Yeah. Anyway. Top 10 tools that people have. According to Popular Mechanics, survey says the number one tool that you need to have is a sledgehammer. Why? Well, I don't know. But your top 10 are a sledgehammer, a center punch, a putty knife, safety glasses, adjustable wrench, pipe wrench, socket wrench set, combination wrench, jigsaw, and a crosscut saw. Those are your top 10 things, top 10 tools that you need to have. So you see, I always relied on my dad. He was my handyman. I don't really do the tool thing, so yeah. Let's see here. Things to do if you're single on Valentine's Day. This is according to Women's Day. So things you can do if you're single on Valentine's Day: bake treats, have a movie marathon, host a Galentine's Day party, sweat by exercising, spread some good cheer, try a new restaurant. I guess you're going to go by yourself. Take a trip, curl up with a book, see a comedy show. Stuff you can do if you're single on a Valentine's Day. Also, if you're not single, here is, I'm not sure who this is according to, what a woman really wants for Valentine's Day. Quality time. Quality time's near the top there. Heartfelt words, flowers, chocolates and sweets, jewelry, a spa day. You can cook a special meal, customize gifts, adventure together, or a surprise date night. So things that she really wants, fellas, on Valentine's Day. Let's zoom through some of this other stuff here quick. Let's go to the files of law and disorder. In some disorder this morning, let's go to Utah. Teenage girl in Utah faced threats after a state school board member appeared to raise questions about her gender on social media, eliciting a condemnation from the state's top government officials. Now, in a since-deleted Facebook post, Natalie Klein, a member of the Utah State Board of Education, posted a photo of a high school basketball player last Tuesday and falsely implied that the student was transgender. And evidently, the student was not transgender, so the had to apologize there. Some good news in a first, a prosthetic limb can sense temperature. Interesting. Amputees hopes to experience the feeling of human touch using their prosthetics, becoming closer to reality as new technology is allowing people to feel temperature even in limbs that are no longer part of their bodies. For the first time, a functional artificial limb has been fitted with fingertip sensors that allow an ordinary prosthetic hand to sense and respond to temperature just as a living hand does. So that's pretty cool. Let's go to a moment of
Duh. 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 Duh.
duh. In some duh, let's go to the state of Washington. A Washington woman's home security camera was recording when a large bear attempted to enter her home through the doggy door. The woman says the video is completely entertaining, but also makes me a little worried about waking up in bed with a bear next to me. She says the video shows the bear attempted to squeeze through the doggy door, which turned out to be too small, of course. Holt said that the bear also tried to unsuccessfully push its way in through her windows. So this bear was determined. She says, we live in a rural area, and encounters are a normal part of living here. It's one of the things we enjoy most about living in North Bend, Washington. So I'd be a little bit worried if a bear was trying to get into my house through the doggy door and also by pushing in windows. Let's wrap this up. Oh, good morning to you, Rick. Yeah, those Chiefs and the T-Swizzle. My T-Swizz. To the box office we go. Did anybody go to the movies this weekend? No. Pretty much nobody did. Let's see here. This past week, the movie Argyle stayed at number 1 with $6.5 million at the box office. That's number 1? $6.5 million? And its total is $28.8 million. Just movies aren't making money these days, or at least not the money they used to. A movie called Lisa Frankenstein was at number 2. The Beekeeper, The Chosen, Wonka are your top 5 movies. Again, nothing made over $6.5 million this week. 6 through 10, money-making movies or lack of money-making movies. Migration, Anyone But You, Mean Girls, American Fiction, Poor Things. Those are your boring movies that are out there at theaters that nobody is going to. So it's interesting stuff. All right, that is your morning wake up here on Steve Schoettler Media, brought to us by our friends at Home Plate Sports Cards, the Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Thank you to Eddie and Home Plate Sports Cards for sponsoring. Again, coming up tonight, we'll have Keota Eagles boys basketball. The postseason begins for the Keota boys as they take on English Valleys. So a couple of area teams right here in southeast Iowa going to be battling it out in the first round. 7 p.m. We'll go on the air shortly before that with Eddie Conrad and Andy McGuire as our announcers. I'll be hanging out there running the camera and the scoreboard and all that good stuff. So, looking forward to Keota Eagles basketball coming up tonight. Coming up here later on today, we've got our In Remembrance Of video at 8 a.m., later on, we'll have our normal videos on Mondays. An encouraging word from Kevin Hempel at 5. At 5:30, I have picked up a new show, which is going to be debuting later on today at 5:30, called Successful Farming. And this is kind of a sister show to Living the Country Life, which plays every weekday morning at 6:45 here on Steve Schoettler Media. So if you like Living the Country Life, we'll have a new program from that same company, and it's called Successful Farming. So tune in at 5:30 weekdays for that. We'll have Real Talk with Pastor Aaron Fleming and myself. And then I think we're going to have to move it up to earlier. We'll have our pro wrestling show called Card Subject to Change. Maybe we'll move that up just a little bit earlier in the evening so it doesn't conflict with Keota basketball. So lots to get to today here on Steve Schoettler Media. Again, gonna have a very nice day weather-wise. Sunshine today. Let's get our graphics out of the way there so you can see that. Sunshine today, a high of 48. And then, look for highs in the 40s tomorrow. Wednesday, Valentine's Day, a high of 54. So a nice weather forecast brought to us by the Garden Gate. Otherwise, that does it for our morning wake-up brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards. Have a great Monday.